Hello, everyone. This is Kev, and this is another Any Given Sunday on BMBBH. Your first time here, please like the video, and by all means, go below this screen and hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, and I won't be very long with this one, but just here to say that black men. We are we have pretty much. It's not something that I take very lightly when I come to this platform. Um, Shout out to RPM and Toya the Tutor. What's going on? I had to put that meme in my community tab. It is funny yet it's true. I mean, and it's true to the point where it's pretty sad. But anyway, Snowman in the morning with Cole Johnson. What's going on? Thanks for being here as well. Um, yeah, black men, we're all we have, man. I mean, and I say that with the understanding that we there are some black men that are even against that. And I saw that. I see this every week on social media. And I started to think to myself, if we didn't have social media, I mean, the internet, I mean, platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, just anywhere, would we still feel this way? I don't know. I believe we would because, is in the past, and when I say the past, I mean like the 70s and the 80s, black men didn't get platforms like these. I mean, one of the first platforms I ever seen black men really speak our truths. I would say is one talk show in particular, Montel Williams, and I would have to say rap music. And rap music wasn't always about uh, disparaging and degrading women. I mean, it ain't like it wasn't against their will anyway for those who participated, but um, it's um, it's gotten really to the point where it's like every week I look at news stories, I look at world events. Um, Look, black men, we are needed to assert ourselves like just more than ever, and I do see the importance of that because we were stuck in a position to where we couldn't do it before, and we were even advised against it by our own forefathers. And that was really just one thing that was just sad to me is that we had people who supposedly loved us. And I believe that's what created a lot of resentment from the younger crowd that not only would advise us against having our own platforms to at least speak on the basic stuff, but giving us terrible, terrible advice. And sometimes I do get frustrated with the younger crowd, but I, I I have to be one of those guys, one of those black men who is I have to see where they're coming from because if I turn my backs on them, it's it's almost we're almost without hope at that point. And I mean hope in a different context. I don't mean hope as in giving you guys false promises of a new tomorrow or a better tomorrow if we just follow a certain blueprint. Because that's how we got here in the first place. Yeah, Shaka Nulu, I see you down there. Brotherly Love 215, what's going on? Yeah, and just know this, guys, is always that I don't come to this platform pretending to know everything. I just give you my life experience, in more or less words without making it so personal. Would or and try to be relatable to you guys, even though we're all from different parts of the world, different parts of the country. But we always and trust and believe this. Um, we have this one thing in common, our skin color. And I know sometimes guys with different skin colors do visit this channel. Um, but I made this channel for the black man's perspective to get out, and black women who are willing to listen, because you know what, I could really care less about haters and detractors. I really could care less about them, even though I feel like that they run enough interference for me to have to address them at times. Um, but what good is that? Is Do I become the detractor? Do I become the hater when I address those guys? And uh, do those guys take me off focus from what I believe my purpose is for being on this platform itself, to put out the black man's perspective and to make sure that it continues to get out, because I'm surely not the only one up here that is doing that. There are quite a few black men that are great with getting that perspective out, and but it's so much that we have to deal with as far as that. Like, say for instance, we always have these people that say, especially in this space, is that all we do is talk about women, and we have all these sex based attacks, like I like to call them. It's always, it just seems like it always centers around some aspect of sexual intercourse. Like, it's we're up here because we're frustrated about our lack of success in the dating market. Uh, yeah, one of the more extreme things is that we're up here because we hate women and we're gay. It's just, which is ridiculous. We're here because uh we got rejected by women in high school. I mean, um it's always centered around the ridiculous notion that we just failure of the opposite sex, and is and so what? you know so what if people express their disdain for the opposite sex on this platform? um really, because I mean, why not? Why not share our experiences so they can become cautionary tales for others who may believe that they're in a world that does not listen to them, that they're in a world where that they might believe they're crazy up until they start to hear the stories that other black men tell, and maybe they say, well, maybe I'm not so crazy after all. you know yeah, so I mean, this space is good. This space is real good. I wish there was a space like this when I was a younger kid. Maybe I would have had more questions answered instead of giving the baseline. You do this way and you'll one day find major success. Just letting me know that there are other options out there besides getting a regular job and conforming to a certain attitude. Because what I discovered like not only with the internet, but with life experience, is that there are many different ways to do things. There there are many ways to do things. Just the tip. What's going on? Also, Prepper 101. Good to see you again. Um, yeah, there's many ways to do things, and you can be just about successful at anything if you put your mind to it. Um, and I know that's easier said than done, but one thing that was always consistent is everything does take hard work, including having a YouTube channel. So, any one of you guys that want to get your perspective out there, like my boy RPM in the chat, who's saying that he's starting a YouTube channel and he's trying to get things together, you will have me as a supporter. You will. So, but one thing that I don't, I'm not very happy with is the fact that is this side of black men that I see that like I was saying when I was alluding to black men's trouble with the opposite sex. There's always this, I don't know, this sentiment of black men who always have to point out other black men as the bad guy, as the big bad guy, as the guys who are the problem. Like we aren't trying to figure out solutions. Like the people who always have to disparage our image, for likes and subs, it, it, it's views and it does. And, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it with you. Black men hate, anti-black male misandry is very trendy these days. It really is. It's very trendy, and one thing that I do want us to see as a group of men is to not fall for that trap. I mean, you can believe me, you can not believe me, but it is what it is. It's just don't fall for that trap, because we often find ourselves in these broadcasts where we will say stuff, and I'll use this as an example. These men in this space broadcast, the men in this space this, the men in this space that. And what I try to get people see, no matter what you call the man in this space, whether you call it the black manosphere, or or like I said, the men in this space, you have to understand what's going on. TVA, it's always good to see you, brother. You have to understand at the very basic part of that is black men. Is black men is I'm gonna tell you something real quick, guys. I'm not a huge fan of individualism at this level. When we have platforms like this, I get it, individualism in your personal lives, just to see your personal success and to see yourself flourish as a man, as a citizen of this country. Um, that's cool, and I do encourage that. But individualism as far as platforms like these, I'm not a very big fan of, because it brings about HNIC complex, bragging, boasting about yourself. You become Mr. I don't have these problems. You become Mr. I don't have a problem with women. These problems that you dudes express, and just all this meaningless fucking crap, that doesn't help anyone. And I mean, like, I'm not saying that the big requirement for you to be up here is to you have to help people, because if that's the case, good luck with that. Because a lot of people don't want that kind of help. They 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 they'll say things like, it's just the internet, and then say a bunch of bullshit that just furthers the discord. That that I don't know, just makes people makes people like me look at it and just say, hey, what the fuck am I even doing up here? It's like, if y'all are just gonna choose this shit right here, then some of these things that some of these efforts that I'm trying to make is just meaningless. But at the same time, myself as an individual who runs this channel, I can't let that kind of shit discourage me, you know. Because it's not only a disservice to the people who tune in every time I'm on the air, the people who watch my short videos, it's a disservice to me as well. I didn't spend all this time talking to you guys for nothing, just to let a hater discourage me, no matter how small or how big their audience is, or how potent a message may seem. I didn't come up here to be discouraged, because I don't believe at the end of the day that I'm doing all of this for nothing. Re up. What's going on? You say Treehouse Wars. Uh yeah, it's D Rock Den, what's going on? Yeah, yeah. I don't believe any of us should be up here for that. And one thing I want to tell you guys is that, and I've said this before, this is a golden opportunity. So we need to take advantage of this and show what we got before we don't have it anymore. You don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I mean, shit. One day, you might wake up. You might go about your day and find out one of the biggest, most influential people that's in this space have passed away. and, and, you also never know. Shit, one of those days it might be you. So why the fuck are we as black men wasting any time? Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power. What's going on? Thanks for coming once again. You see, guys, the way a lot of you guys consistently show up, that's like the first steps for me. So thank you once again. But like I said, we gotta take advantage of this opportunity until we don't have it anymore. Yeah, like, this question, like, I'm still waiting. No, not even a question. I'm just gonna say this. I'm still waiting on the FBI to crack down on us. I'm still I'm still waiting on the whole, FBI to knock on our door. By the way, what's up, feds? You're supposedly watching us. I'm still waiting on that. I think a lot of us are still waiting on that, because the way that we were speaking and the way we were talking when that happened, we, like, a lot of us, I wouldn't say so much myself, uh, a lot of us were afraid that our channels were going to be taken down. We were going to be dragged down to a police station or some hot muggy office somewhere and be grilled with a light on us, and two guys were going to come in and play good cop bad cop and ask us what the meaning of the stuff that we were talking about, and all kinds of stuff, because we supposedly is we're encouraging the downfall of society as we know it, or basically, we just hate women, and we're just encouraging that violence happen to them. Like, when is all of that was supposed to happen? In other words, some of you niggas out there cry too much. And I said you niggas, so I'm still trying to work on that because that's another thing. This whole you niggas thing. You know, just trying to be a just always trying to shoot and strive to be a better person when I come up here to show you guys a different kind of black man and not always show you this whole thing where um trying to like certain couple of certain content creators always trying to find a new black man to hate on or to just hate on black men in general because we definitely as black men should not be up here to do that. I don't care if you call yourself SYSBM. I don't care if you call yourself MGTOW. I don't care if you call yourself IPMOR. Or I don't even care if you just come up here to call yourself a black man, a conservative. I mean, whatever your views are, I do understand, at least me, because I'm the only one speaking at this point. I do understand that there is a reason for your views. Like like I would say that I grew up a Democrat. I grew up being told day in and day out to vote Democrat. And those were my views up until a certain point. I think up until Obama. Now I'm just guy that wants to vote for the person who serves my interest the best, whether that be a Democrat or Republican or independent or whoever, because I'm searching for my own reasons at this point. So it is far be it from me to criticize any guy as to why his views are the way they are, unless they give me a reason to criticize them. Because often, let me give an example. MGTOW, men going their own way. I hear a lot of men criticizing and making fun of MGTOW for what? Because it goes back to that whole sexual attack thing that I was talking about. Men going their own way, basically saying that they're going away from women and, they don't want to deal with women anymore, which I don't believe that's what it is. I believe they want to deal with women, but feed women with a long handled spoon, meaning that you can't, no matter who you are, get in the way of my success. So that's my understanding of them. It's like a bunch of us black men just use this as an opportunity of making fun of other black men based on how good we can look for the opposite sex. And if you are any, and let me tell you guys the truth, if you are any good with the opposite sex, you wouldn't have to do any of that. You wouldn't have to make fun of another group of black men just to make yourself just to put yourselves on top. Just like these, like even with these simps make me sick. Simps absolutely make me fucking sick. The only thing that even makes me tolerate them even one iota is the fact that they are their own people and they have their own views, even though I feel like their views are influenced by women, but by a matriarchal sense, by a gynocratic sense, which I don't believe any man should do. Because if you're a man and you're a gynocrat, then you're pretty much wasting your time trying to reach me on any level. And there are plenty of guys that are up here that are like that too. They're gynocratic, and they're probably the only group of men that I would just say, hey, you know what, you know, you're a human being. You deserve basic human respect, but fuck you anyway. you know. But I will say this. I will say this. You whatever whatever you decide to base your beliefs upon, it should never be used to trauma bond. It should never be used to start like truly dangerous rhetoric. Not what is subjective. I'm talking about what is true to it. Spreading things that you believe on an extreme level. It should never be used for that, because if you do that, then you're no better than I would say extremist groups like the KKK. Now, 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 don't think that I'm comparing black men to the KKK, because black men should believe, and this. I'm speaking as a black man from Alabama. We should believe that that group is our mortal enemy. I don't believe that there's any good KKK members. I was one of the guys that when I saw that story of that black man that called himself joining the KKK, I was very disappointed in that black man. I don't care what he said his intentions were. The KKK is a terrorist group that, isn't classified in this country as a terrorist group. And, you know, that is a big surprising, but then again, based on the history of this country, it's not. It's not surprising at all. What's going on, Greg? Shaka Nulu. Let me look at some of these comments. Let me say, hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd Power said they criticize MGTOW, saying they are toxic, but those men are literally walking away. Shaka Nulu says the same niggas talk shit about MGTOW, the niggas buying game books and crying on panels. Or maybe I'm just seeing what I'm seeing. Um, uh, you're seeing what you're seeing, and um, maybe what you're seeing has some validity to it. Um, I ain't gonna lie. Anthony Drossos was going on. You know, I ain't gonna even lie. There was times that I was searching and looking for answers myself. I would say, I'm not saying that I ever resented women or anything like that, or I tried to. Well, but what man hasn't tried to break the code, or to find a hack, or to find a better? If you're a heterosexual man, let's just go ahead and admit that we've always tried to find better ways to improve our game, and especially in I will say in my single days, because I'm not single anymore. In my single days, to try to improve upon uh, my approach to women, and one of those things that I did was get in shape. I get in shape, and when I got in shape, one thing that I did notice was women looked at me a lot different and a lot better. I mean, they already, and not humble bragging, they already said I was a good looking guy, and getting in shape improved upon that. So I do get it. I do understand that, but to sit up there and to, a lot of the complaints, and I wouldn't say a lot of the reservations and the feelings on our female counterparts, I'm on the side of a lot of it is legitimate. A lot of it is. And I've always been this guy. It's okay to talk about it, but in moderation. If I were to get up here and talk about it every broadcast and not use it in the context of I just want to see my people improve. you know, I'm saying this because I care, but just like a lot of what you say, a lot of what a lot of you guys say, just complaining about the opposite sex and thinking that the opposite sex is the enemy. Then I become one of those guys that all the naysayers keep talking about. All you guys want to do is complain about women. Yeah, I become one of those guys, and it's And I would like to profess that I am not one of those guys, that spew hatred for the opposite sex. In fact, I'm one of those guys that, if a female steps on the panel, um, shoot, just let her say what she got to say. It's not a war. It's not a gender war. If it's for our entertainment, then shit, let that shit happen. If she really has something that is profound that she would like to share, just let it happen. But it ain't the and it is my belief that it's not really a gender war going on. And if it is a gender war, we need to admit where that shit is actually coming from. Is just that. And a lot of guys that are okay, I'm gonna say it, that are in this space don't understand why I have that view, or my crew has that view. A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. A lot of guys was like, okay, and I get it, because the way a lot of these females conduct themselves on this platform, a lot of the ways that they really address us as black men, I do understand the caution. I do. I do understand the cautions, but it's like shit. Just I'm just gonna say it just like y'all say about other people. Just let me cook. Just let me do it, man. Just let me do it. Indigenous TV, what's going on? He says, I don't spew hate. I throw bombs when the dust settles among the torn up bodies and blood. The truth remains. Yeah. However, catastrophic impact at 83rd Power, Indigenous TV, there you are. I thought Lizzo sat on you and you wouldn't make it tonight. Glad you're here. Speaking of Lizzo, man, I mean, again, yeah, there's this story going around. She's saying, I'm rich, I'm beautiful, and I got a man, something like that. And let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. Share the screen with y'all real quick. Okay, hopefully everybody watching, you have pressed that like button. I did have another title for this broadcast, but it just didn't make any sense to me, because like I said, it was black men against black men, the new in thing to do. But the title, when I really thought about it, it just did not make any sense to me, because we already have a lot of black men that is at each other's throats. It's not anything that's new. So let me see if I can find this story real quick. Oh, here it is. There it is. I found it. So let me share the screen real quick. I mean, I might as well become Ozymandias in this space. Somebody's got to do it. Yeah, yeah. I finally saw what you were talking about last night, because I decided not to go on the air. Most of all, because I was too tired and didn't really feel like saying shit. But I was like, well, let me go on some other platforms to see what they're talking about. And I want to, like, I went in the chats of several platforms last night. The Black Brain Trust was on. He was having an interesting conversation with Toya and real life, not in cyberspace. And I was like, well, I can't really join that panel because I'm not a sapiosexual. So, um, but I don't know. The Black Brain Trust is one of those channels that we should support. They have plenty of good information. Then I went on my fellow Montgomery, Alabama native, Sub 03639, and I mean, I just had to hear some of that shit for myself. And I mean, Sub Zero, he's a level headed brother, but you know, he walks that line, and it's just I don't know, it's shit. Just go check out his channel, but it does seem like he's kind of teetering on that line of simp, and it is he's a successful brother. He's done well for himself, but I mean, dudes, you gotta make he gotta understand. Dudes gotta make their own choices. I mean, you can't get upset because dude decide they want to be SYSBM. Shit. Well, let's look at this story real quick. It said Lizzo addresses ugly dudes with no bitches who use her name as an insult. Which I'm gonna go ahead and say that you know, although and let me go ahead and just be fair. Although Lizzo is very talented, she is. There's no denying that. She's a very talented artist. You know, not just because she can twerk and play the flute at the same time. You know, she just has a tendency to be a little whiny and self-loathing. I mean, I would say it is it's something. It used to be every 2 or 3 weeks there'd be something new that she said, and I'm just like, oh my God, not again. She just be crying because no one accepts, you know, how big she is, or, you know, just like that one time where I could have made a video about it, but I was like, let me leave this shit alone. About the time she said when she saw Eddie Murphy in fat suits in the Nutty Professor, it made her sad. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that. You're just an attention seeker. Yeah, this is what Lizzo does best. She attention whores. You know, instead of being the person that just focuses on who, you know, likes her and who appreciates her presence, she wants to cry about the people who don't. But so let me read the title of this again. Lizzo addresses ugly dudes with no bitches who use her name as an insult. And yeah, this article seems to seems to be have been written by a female, because look how it starts out. Lizzo's unabashed confidence surrounding her body. Bullshit. Bullshit. Tama has made her a target on social media. Just look at the wording. Let me read that again. Lizzo's unabashed confidence surrounding her body has made her a target on social media. First of all, that's a big ass target. Let me stop. But I mean, the only reason why she would be a target on social media is because of the fact that she keeps putting herself and her feelings out there. Now, I'm going to tell all of you, if you say anything in these social media streets, and that includes myself, it's up for debate. It's up for debate. I don't care who you are. I mean, but let me just read this. Let me just read this whole top part right here. Lizzo's unabashed confidence surrounding her body has has made her a target on social media. But the Grammy Award winning audience is typically able to brush it off and often isn't shy to confront the negative comments head on. On Saturday, the 34-year-old evidently had enough and addressed men who use her stage name as an insult to other women. Like, the whole paragraph just contradicts itself. And this is why, like, I have an objection to how a lot of today's climate on social media is, because I mean, is this whole first fucking paragraph contradicted itself hard. Okay. She said, dudes be ugly with no bitches talking about okay Lizzo as an insult in girls' comments. She wrote, I'm beautiful, rich, and get immaculate dick. It's a compliment. If you can't make it past the cheeks, just say that. What do y'all think of that in the comment? It's like shit. Dudes be ugly with no bitches talking about okay Lizzo as an insult in girls' comments. I'm beautiful, rich, and get immaculate dick. It's a compliment. If you can't make it past the cheeks, just say that. Uh, yeah. Oh man, look, it's just like look, people. It's just like she was self-loathing till she actually got a man. Now, whatever reason that man is around, that is completely subjective. I'm not I'm not gonna say any reason why she's around, why he's around. So I'll just leave that to you guys in the comment section. But all the rest of that shit is subjective. Basically, I guess she's talking about people who are calling big girls Lizzo. I mean, it used to be precious. it used to be precious. And I don't really even think that is that bad. But she also could be referencing something called the Lizzo effect, where you have all these big girls, will come out, they'll be half naked on social media and they call themselves redefining beauty. And I'll say two things about that. Number one, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It is perfectly okay if a black man in particular believes that a big woman is beautiful. Uh, yeah, so that's number one. Uh, Number two, you cannot make someone believe that you're beautiful, no matter what shaming tactic, or as I like to say sometimes, sign language you use on a person. Just like, how y'all say that these guys be trying to SBE these women. The same thing goes for men. You cannot change a guy's perception on what's beautiful. Trying to redefine this so-called quote unquote standard of beauty, because when I go out in public, I see all kinds of archetypes of men be with all kinds of archetypes of women. You can't just limit one. You can state what your preferences are as a person, and if you are able to fulfill those preferences, then so be it. Then so be it. But dudes be ugly with no bitches. How does she know? I understand. How does she know? And what about all the women who sit up there and say Lizzo needs to keep her fucking mouth shut sometimes? And that's something that there's a lot of people, especially a lot of B dubs, who can't sit up there and keep their mouths shut. Like say for instance, Jada Pinkett Smith. She gonna finally say like on the day, oh yeah, this past week Johnny Depp, you might as well say he won the case. You might as well say he won the case, because a lot of people tried to flame it as, I mean, they tried to frame it as Johnny. Let me look it up real quick. A lot of people tried to frame it as Johnny Depp. Um, he, him and Amber Heard were found liable for defamation, and now let me see. Let me just pull something on the. Let me see if I can just pull up something that will help me frame it just right. Johnny Depp lawsuit. Just bear with me for a second, people, as you always do. Says top stories. I guess that's close enough. But I have a point. Now, okay, I have a point to make about this. Even though Johnny Depp is a white man, because I know that's I hate these ads. I hate these websites that have all these ads. Um, all right, this ain't even a real good one to use. But yeah. As far as Johnny Depp goes, Johnny Depp really showed that if there is and this is for you too, black man. I know that this is a victory for a white man, but Johnny Depp really showed that if it you can as a man seek the truth. You can seek the truth, and you can seek justice, because a lot of the reason why a lot of these women get away with this bullshit is that the fact that these men won't pursue anything. They'll just take it on the chin and then let it ruin their lives. And think of all of the men, if they had taken it into their own hands and went and pursued the steps to get justice, how much how much more, how many more men could have had the same justice that Johnny Depp had. I mean, you know what though? Everybody already pretty much knew that this woman Amber Heard was a bitch, and that she really was guilty of the things that were being discussed. Like, she was really guilty of all of that shit, of being an abuser. But I mean that a lot of the problem is that men don't pursue anything. Like, I mean, if you could see the screen, look at some of this shit. She really tried to pull a white girl on this man. Having them white girl sad faces, and I'm the victim and all this other shit. Now, here's what I'll say about that, and then I'll move forward. Uh, if only Tory Lanez can get the same justice, because I do believe that Megan Thee Stallion is lying about that shit. I believe she's just throwing Tory Lanez under the bus. I mean, especially with that interview that she did with Gayle King. Man, if you can tell she wasn't lying, that you just a person that just doesn't want to believe the truth on anything. Or I don't know, or maybe you're just jaded and just believe that Tory Lanez is guilty of abuse, even though he's about half her size. Yeah, but I wasn't. I will say this: I wasn't indifferent. I was not indifferent. I really was hoping that Johnny Depp could pull it off. I really was hoping he could pull it off. And just because I believe that I wanted Johnny Depp to pull it off doesn't mean that I don't have that same or more support for Tory Lanez, because I still feel guilty at the fact that, just a little bit, at the fact that when I first heard that Tory Lanez supposedly shot Megan Stallion in the foot, that I didn't even want to give the man a chance. I would say, oh, Tory Lane's career is done. That's what me and my homie did. That's what exactly what we said when we heard that shit. Oh, Tory Lanez is done. And Tory Lanez didn't even get a chance to tell his side of the story. We just upped and believe that he that we just upped and believe that Tory Lanez was done. No questions. And when I look back on it and I really think about it, um, I really feel as if that I have a level of programming that I need to deal with, a level of indoctrination that I need to deal with head on. Because for me personally, as a black man, you know, to not even care at first about what Tory Lane's side of the story was, it made me believe that there's still some issues myself that I had to resolve. And and that is just that is unfair, to men in general who have to go through a woman's lies. And many of men in the past and in present day, lives have been ruined over lies, over people who could not tell the truth, over women who could not tell the truth. Complete liars. And we live in a justice system that let liars get away with tons of BS every fucking day. Every day. Now, for women who seek the cause of believe all women, let me tell y'all something. Amber Heard really fucked it up for y'all. She really did. Because she was a horrible actress throughout that entire trial, throughout that entire court case. A horrible actress. She put on the cry face. It had been many times that she had been caught smiling after she put on the sad face. And it's just like, if she could do that, then imagine the many women who have that same idea that they could just put on a cry face. And if black women don't believe that, if you don't believe that black women didn't believe that it was a defeat on their part, shoot, just read the root. That shoot. In fact, let me go ahead and find my community tab. Yeah, I like to share that with y'all. And I mean, like, and then, like I said, I do understand that black men don't feel like that it's it's a victory. It wasn't, because it really wasn't. It wasn't really a victory for black men, but it's something that is something to look at. I would say. Let me share this one. Just one moment. All right. Yeah. The Root immediately put out a story. Amber Heard verdict sends a message to black women. Hmm? Now, basically, if Johnny Depp's victory, if many black men feel as if that Johnny Depp's victory was a victory for white men and not black men, there are definitely B dubs out there that feel that the Amber Heard verdict sent a message to them. And yeah, look at it, the root. Now we know the root. We know how we know what a misandrous publication it is. A really hardcore pro feminist publication it is, because remember, the root is where Very Smart Brothers came from, and Very Smart Brothers had Damon Young, and Damon Young was the one that put out that whole straight black men are the white people to black people BS. And I was one of the ones that did expect something like this to come out, but I did not believe that, it would have been as soon as it happened. I mean, it would have been that quickly. Yeah. So there you have it. I mean, shoot, however you may feel about what happened in that court case, son of a bitch. No, I'm just looking at something right now. Son of a bitch. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I said, there you have it. There you have it. That's what B Dubs think about the Amber Heard trial. So if you guys were happy about Johnny Depp getting justice, then I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you at all. I'm not mad at you at all. So let's do a bit of interactivity. Let me go to the comments. And if anybody got any questions or anything that they would like to share or they would like to ask me, let me go through some of these. Let me go through some of this stuff right here. Let me back it up a little bit. Toy the Tutor say, remember when journalism remained unbiased? Uh, I don't believe that journalism at any point in history was unbiased. It might have come close, but nah. Nah, I mean, you have to understand, Toya, is that um, we as black people, we live in a WS culture. We do. And in a WS culture, it was never unbiased for us. Never. So, I mean, but it came close. Indigenous TV, I think he's referring to Lizzo with this. And all you cats who said you wouldn't hit, as soon as she loses that weight, y'all keep that same energy. Man, but losing weight can make a lot of difference. Make a lot of difference. I mean, as long as she don't have all that saggy skin. I mean, but Lizzo, as she says, she's rich, so she could have the surgery to correct all that. Anthony Drosso says yes. Says the woman with the sumo physique. uh, However, catastrophic impact its 83rd power said, I understand her anger, but just like when men get harsh criticism, you got to do something about it. I'm going to state, I've stated this before, and I'm going to state this again. We are better than them. I repeat, we are better than them. Look at guys like Biggie Smalls. Look at guys like Big Pun and Fat Joe. Look at guys like the Fat Boys. You didn't really have a whole bunch of women, if any, that was roasting them for being fat. I mean, they would talk about how they had girl all kinds of women wrapped around their fingers. I mean, seriously, they got stories. I mean, if you go watch some rap interviews, past, present, hey, you'll see it. But to your other point, when we do feel that way about ourselves, we do something about it. We go to the gym and we work out. Yeah, I just recently rejoined the gym, so I mean, I do understand, and I'm doing it as a guy that is fastly approaching middle age. Um, I understand being more advanced in age that in order for me to get the most out of the rest of my life, then I'm gonna have to be in shape. I don't want to check out of here too early, especially with a very young kid who I want to see at least grow up and make it out of college. I mean, whatever plan that the whatever plan that the big man has for me, hey, that I mean, I'm gonna have to deal with that, and I'm gonna have to stick with it. No matter what. But whatever I can affect, then that's what I got to do. And we as men, we are always in the position to understand that. But just remember this: we are better than them. RPM says that's what every fat female says, making it past her nasty cheeks. Hey man, look, you know who else say that? Well, who else could say it? Women with big asses. Shaka Nulu, I keep that same energy all the time. Indigenous TV, she is most definitely gearing up to lose weight. New, she's going to stunt on folks with the new body. I mean, well, if she's gearing up. She needs to get to work. Mm. So, Indigenous TV, Duke Lacrosse, Emmett Till, To Kill a Mockingbird, even. I believe you're saying that because of men, fiction and nonfiction, who have been lied on. That has costed them a lot, even their lives, because Emmett Till was killed on a lie. One thing a lot of people do not want to mention about Emmett Till was the fact that he was pointed out by his own people. I mean, it was the white men that killed him. And the narrative is, well, Carolyn Bryant is still alive. She should be in prison. And I do believe that. I do believe Carolyn Bryant should be locked up. I do believe that. But one thing I do not want people to forget is that Roy Bryant and J.W. Milan were the guys who killed him. So fuck them motherfuckers at the end of the day. But Emmett Till was killed because of a lie by Carolyn Bryant. Brian Banks. Wow. Yeah, the story of Brian Banks. Man, it as a black man, if you watch that movie and you did not get angry about what happened, then I don't know what to say for you. I don't know what to say for you. You just don't fucking care. You must actually believe that you somehow fit into white society. I mean, I said Anita Hill and Clarence Thomas talking about the sexual harassment lawsuit. Who put pubic hair on my coke? All right. Now this is I think this is you saying why would the right like that was the same question I asked. Why would the root think that Amber Heard's defeat had anything to do with sending a message to black women? I mean, unless that message is stop lying, stop all that goddamn lying. Said they want to be white women so fucking bad. Yeah. Yeah. To an extent, I agree with that. I mean, when it comes to the victimhood, then they want to be black women. But when it comes to everything else, including getting the men, they want to be white. By that framing, re up B Dubs on the wrong side of history. That has validity. Uh, However, catastrophic impact X83rd Power said Indigenous. I saw B Dub smack the crap out of her kid when he called B Dub the bootleg and defective white women. Where did you see that at? Indigenous goes on to comment. Did they think an Amber Heard victory would have somehow trickled down to them? Are they that damn delusional? Let me tell you something. If Amber Heard would not have been found liable for defamation, if it had not been a victory for Johnny Gill, you best believe B Dubs would have been all over social media bragging. I mean, yes, they would have. I can believe that they would have lived vicariously through Amber Heard, and then we would have been asking the question, well, shit, that's a white girl. That shit ain't had nothing to do with y'all. Uh, Indigenous TV said, WSKF, I see this as a degenerate culture, regardless of race. Everybody is fucked up in this Babylonian godless society. Okay, but we've always been in a WS culture, though. And for that, which has contributed to what you're saying. I see this as a degenerate culture, regardless of race. You should never, and that's just one thing I don't do. I don't ever discount race as being a factor. Now, it being 2022, the lines are much more blurred right now. But if you don't believe that that things will always circle back around the race. If you don't believe that, then I believe you're teetering on a little bit of foolishness. It will, to an extent, in certain parts, will matter. It just will, and until. But I will say this. I will say this. Um, we, as within our group of melanated people, we need to get our shit together. We do, and it's and if we don't, and things like this continue to get progressively worse, then WS won't matter completely because we are such shit stains toward ourselves. We really are, and I see this with this supposed quote unquote gender war, which is just B Dubs continuously throw shots at us, and when we fire back, then that's when everyone wants to call it a gender war. That's when everyone wants to call it a gender war, and I will continue to make that one of my primary beliefs in the gender war narrative. Or it's brothers trying to play head nigga in charge. Yes, those problems really are becoming bigger problems on our side of the green than WS. WS is to the point where it doesn't even have to lift a finger anymore. But as far as biased media, media and journalism being unbiased at any point towards black people, we have to really search everything with a fine tooth comb to find that. Seeing that as black people, there has always been some degree of difficulty. Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power says, I might get that Peloton or Nordic Track. I hear they're selling that Peloton at a discount price. I think they're selling it for like $500 cheaper than what they originally sold it for. I mean, those things are expensive, but my brother-in-law has a Peloton treadmill, and like those things, they're pretty good machines, and that they have that screen on them that it'll play like it'll play music that our favorite music, tracks that we all know, and it'll have an instructor on the screen with you. So I mean, those are pretty good machines. I think that it'll be a pretty good investment for you. I mean, y- yeah, I mean, they're very good. From what I can see, I might invest in one myself one day. But well, that's one tip that I do have for black men and black people in general is that we need to take a serious look about how we view our health, how we view, how we keep ourselves up, because if you want to live longer, then that's what we'll do. And even taken that, I've even taken that under my own consideration. D. Scott, what's going on? The man said, I hear, I also hear black men who marry out live longer lives. Okay. Yeah, probably due to not stressing out about things that much. Said black men with non-black wives likely eat healthier, deal with less stress, and aren't living in dangerous environments. Yeah, because I don't know. If I could just give my own view on that, I would probably have to say is that a lot of black men who do marry out weren't exactly socially accepted when they were younger. And it's not their fault, it's the other side's fault for treating them as such. I mean, they get with a non-black wife, and then if that non-black wife cooks for them, it's almost as if they care more about their health than the black wife does. I mean, think about our food palette when it comes to black folks. It's fattier, it's greasier. I mean, it's good food, just not very healthy. I mean, shit. Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power. Indigenous TV. I've heard B Dubs brag about arguing with their men. They brag about waking them up in the middle of the night and continue arguing. They bother them at work. Stress. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Re-up says, right, the entire matrix of America was built on race. Indigenous TV said, Kev, that's where you and Sub Zero would agree, lol. It's a generational thing, Kev. I'm just from a different generation where race no longer dominates interaction. It's all good. Yeah, like I said, I do understand. I do, like I said earlier, I have to understand the perspectives of our younger ones because Me being a Gen Xer, I was given a pretty bad blueprint by the boomer generation. You know, if you did things a certain way, then and if you left certain things alone, then you would then you would be okay, and then you would be successful if you just work hard and help someone else achieve their dream instead of going to seek your own dreams, then you will be okay. And if you just kept your mouth shut, you threw caution to the wind. Yeah, I was given all that bad advice. So when I speak to a younger generation, if that younger generation is not being completely obnoxious, then I have a better understanding of where those people are coming from. You know, I'll tell you this: I might not receive you well if your first inclination is to call me an old nigga, old nigga, old ass nigga, old nigga. I'm like, okay. so, so I'll be like, whatever, kid. Hybrid says, at this point, WS can kick his feet up. The black community already imploding. Yeah, truth, facts. This ship is a sinking ship, and B Dubs ain't trying to help plug the holes. They feel like they don't have to. Feel like they don't have to. They feel like that we should be the workhorses, and you know that they are the entitled to um, you know getting everything on our backs, our blood, our sweat, our tears, and not give us a reason to relax. Indigenous TV, do you think black people have antiquated views and that other groups had been more successful in this modern society? They aren't so race centric, or dare I say paranoid about race. Um, I believe it's the opposite. I believe it's the opposite. I don't believe that black people have antiquated views, and that's why things are the way they are. I believe other races have antiquated views because they are more about family, and they are more about supporting their businesses and um, keeping everything within their group of people. Like, say for instance, like the dollar and how much it circulates in our community. The black dollar leaves the community immediately, while I believe the white dollar circulates in their community at least 6 or 7 times. Asian people, the same thing. Um, I do believe it's the opposite. I do believe it's the opposite. And by antiquated views, do you think that, like, if you're talking about the '60s, where the black community, well, the '50s and the '60s, where the black family was more together, the black community was more successful because of that, and it's something that we really seriously need to get back to. I believe that we're past the point of no return on that. I do believe that. And it's because of the fact that we don't have a group of women who are old fashioned thinkers. I mean, one thing that really can, and people like, they act like this is beating a dead horse, but that horse is kicking and running like a motherfucker. Uh, when a lot of B dubs decided to have kids before husbands, and men saw that as, look, I'd rather have my own legacy, or I just won't fuck with them bitches. It's gotten to the point where you have more single mothers and wives. So to get back to the dynamic that was making us somewhat successful, that's going to be a long time coming unless we as a people decide to switch our value system. Hybrid says, I've met good B dubs that are so frustrated with how these boss bees are making black women look like. Yeah, but here's the thing is when they do speak up about it, it's very hard for them to filter through the nonsense because they are so bullied and so beaten, and with the whole pick me mammy garbage. And it's like, mammy is a disgusting name to call a black woman, for real, because it's really, they're using it in a horrible context, a very, very incorrect context. Is they these women are so bullied to the point where they don't even want to speak out. I mean, there's some that are still do it, like Celebrity Podcast. She doesn't give a shit. She'll like for real. Like, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, if y'all check her channel out, man, like man, she is on one when it comes to holding other females accountable. And she will show you evidence of how females have tried to dox her. They'll leave threats in her inbox. I mean, she has stalkers, and that's what a lot of that's where a lot of these good B dubs, that's where a lot of them kind of stop. They just don't want to be bothered. They just live in their own circle of interest, and they don't really say anything. Now, if there were more that were that, and that's totally on them. I don't believe that I should have to continue to repeatedly emphasize the importance of them speaking up. They have to decide that for themselves. Like us black men, we decided to come to this space and to come to YouTube to I would say speak on what we believe where a lot of the problems and the shortfalls were. But that's got to be up to them. That's got to be up to them. And for those who are genuine about it, if anything, they should have our support. They should have our. I'm not saying that use them as a weapon. I'm not saying that. I don't believe that you should weaponize anybody. I don't believe that. But at the same time, don't turn them away when they try to at least be genuine about it. And then I do understand that a lot of females are who use those narratives, and they say they're genuine about it, but they're just grifters. So it can be very confusing at times. So let me go down these comments. Rio said even the Revolutionary War was about slavery, race, Civil War, and the Alamo. Every time somebody wanted slaves to be free, this country went to war. That is truth. I mean, the South, when they decided to break off, they were trying to make all kinds of excuses as to why slavery need to remain. And a lot of people, they claim they don't want to talk about slavery, but until we have some real conversations about that, that conversation ain't going away. Why do you think they want to get rid of critical race theory? Like, and I do understand that, a lot of people, they look back on slavery as shame because it seemed like it was a very weak point in our history. But the thing that they want to cover up is the fact that, like, no matter how they beat us down, and even with slaves who were raised in that slavery or way of life, there was always some kind of form of rebellion against it, which shows the resiliency of our people in understanding that something was wrong. And that's the part of history that they don't want out there. So yes, what you're saying is very true. Other groups are culture focused while blacks are still color struck. Indigenous. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that whites and Asians aren't worried about race? Man, look. Let me tell you something. I'm not always in agreement with the amazing Lucas, but when those 10 black folks got shot up in Buffalo at that Tops Friendly supermarket, you know what Joe Biden did? And I saw this on the amazing Lucas. Joe Biden invited an Asian boy band to the White House to continue to push the message of stop Asian hate. That is a totally race based message. So I wouldn't exactly say that other groups aren't focused on race because that is exactly what that focus is. A white man trying to avoid what happened to black people, the same black folks who celebrated his ass becoming the president, it was like that was the biggest victory for black folks. So a lot of people would say that Johnny Depp's victory didn't have anything to do with black people, but with Joe Biden won, black folks, man, it might have well been a black man that got elected. But the first thing Joe Biden did was invite an Asian boy band. and, I mean, like, and it's like, look, even though I feel like WS does not have to lift a finger anymore, they're still going to be who they are, regardless. They're still going to be who they are. It was that K-pop bands are practically indentured slaves. Kev, are we not taken seriously because our race or because our degenerate buffoonish culture? Um, hmm. I would say our degenerate buffoonish culture, which is put out there for everyone to see, is the fact that we are stereotyped by the rest of the world. I would say that. I would say that they put that shit. They put our degenerate culture in front of everyone so we can be stereotyped. No matter how many good examples that we have in our race, they put the degeneracy out there for everyone to see. And that and it gets to but with me, with my thought process, is to the point where they don't want to see the good side of us. They're going to stereotype us like that anyway. Okay, I'll give you an example. Like when there's a soccer team playing in Russia. Now, this actually happened. There was a soccer game in Russia, and there was a black player that went out on the field, and the crowd kept making monkey sounds and throwing him all kinds of insults. The black soccer player fired back, started flicking birds, and was like, fuck y'all. They suspended him for that behavior. They suspended, and this wasn't even a black guy that was from America. That race shit is worldwide, man. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it should affect all of your thinking. I'm not saying that black men should not date out because of that. Because, see, the dating out thing for black men is a decision that is kind of made by B dubs and how they treat black men, and is this like date who you want. I will never be that hotep that tells you to date. You can't date out. You got to stick with these group of women. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm not going to discount the whole racism thing. And I don't believe that Western culture. I think Western culture makes Western culture blacks make Western culture blacks look bad. But if those many idiots in Africa doesn't think that that they could just get away with they can get away with looking down on us and act like the rest of the world ain't gonna look down on them because of their skin color, then those fools got another thing coming. And I know I kind of straw manned it a little bit. But yeah, I'm not denying that there's many things about our culture as blacks in America that need to change. I'm not denying that there are many things that need to change. And it does make us look bad at the end of the day. Yes. If things were taken on a case by case basis, we would look at those people just as individuals. But then earlier I just spoke out against individualism. So, what good is that argument? However, catastrophic impact X83rd Power says slavery happened, yes, but it gets annoying how B dubs and some black men are in love with the struggle, always complaining about the past instead of working 3 times harder. One thing that my parents always told me is that, yeah, Kevin, as a black man in America, you or black person in America, you're gonna have to work 3 times harder than everyone else. So you just kind of reminded me of something that my parents taught me as very early on in my life that it is what it is. It's not exactly fair, but yes, you're gonna have to work harder than everyone else to get half as much. Re-up says when agents set up shop, they don't even put their signs in English. There are more agents at your black chamber of commerce than black people because they actually track the migration of blacks for business, and we support their businesses too. Man, let me tell you something, man. There are more black people lined up at the Chinese food place than at the black food place, and that's a damn shame. Indigenous TV, black culture has become an albatross around black men's necks. Small hats and black women created this degenerate culture. Black men had to wear it for too long. Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Re-up Dred Scott decision, Brown versus Board, Plessy versus Ferguson, Red Line in Black Codes, Jim Crow, War on Drugs. Hard work doesn't erase all that. Black men are America's greatest commodity at 6% of the population, which I do believe is slightly bigger than 6%. I think we're probably more like a 10 or 15%. But, a lot of us don't fill out our census forms. Gilgamy, what's going on? Thank you for the super chat. Said greetings to all LLTHLS. Long live the habitual line steppers. Long live my brother. Indigenous TV says black men live life in America on hard more with one life left, no ammo, one gun, about to face the final boss. Yes, what a very accurate comparison with the video game analogy. Yep, it's like we're in the game Contra. Now the original Nintendo version, every time you get hit one time, you died. You had to dodge every fucking thing in that game. That's what a video game called up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. I think BA select start, something like that. But yeah, everybody knows the up, up, down, down code shit. And black men in life, we don't even have that shit. The unlimited lives, that's the one they give to the. That's the one they be giving to the white folks and the Asians and Latinas and shit. And as of late, the B dub. Shoot, they get that code. We don't. And I think that I believe that we are more resilient for that because of that. We understand how tough it can be for us. And because of that, we are able to adapt more so than others. We know what being on survival mode is like. We know what it is. And for that, we're stronger. Man said it's like Man said it's like being playing Resident Evil 4 on the hardest setting with just a knife. Real says census started back to track slaves after the Civil War. Says systems are built for predictable outcomes. Great analogy, hybrid catastrophic impact, X83rd power. Pressure makes diamonds. Yeah. Okay, guys. I believe that I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Uh, gotta hit the gym and gotta go out there and make some cash because that's what life is out there for us black men. We live life on the hard mode, as Indigenous TV says. Um, but black men, we may in our own individual lives we may have support coming from certain individuals, from certain folks, and really that's a plus because of today's climate and how we are treated. And as I was saying earlier, um, will we feel the same way if we didn't have the internet and we didn't have platforms that were so revealing to how black men are actually viewed by even within our own race? And my answer to that is yes. I believe if we didn't have internet, that we would still feel this same way because most of this mentality started from how we were being portrayed in mainstream media. And where it started as to where it is now is even worse today because if you see how black men are portrayed, we are portrayed as weaklings. We are portrayed as easy to kill off, as soft, and gay. You know, we are portrayed as that. And black men, we are the most versatile, resilient people, especially in Western culture. Because if you as a black man are able to survive this, you can survive anything. Shit. A lot of us are from bad neighborhoods. A lot of us, uh, we dwell in like kind of questionable family settings, and shoot, we just like we constantly live under a system that ain't exactly fair to us. And the thing that really bothers me about a lot of this is we can be the worst enemies that we have. And a lot of those are factored in from wanting acceptance from the so called quote unquote greater society and wanting acceptance from the our female counterparts, most of which hate us. So at the end of the day, I just don't understand why we I don't understand why we take our situation for granted. I just don't, and it's just something that we as black men we just need to improve on, and just for our own individual sakes, and as a group, because at this point we're all we got, and everyone, including the modern day B Dub black woman, shows us this, and it is quite the challenge. But a good thing for us because things have been so difficult on a consistent basis. We're able to adapt and overcome. We just have to believe as a group of men that we are capable of such. And don't let anyone, including other black men, psych you out of that. Don't let anybody else, including other black men, talk you out of your game. And that is what I have to say about that. You know, if I had it all over, if I had it to do it, if I had it to do all over again, I will be the same person, the same skin color, the same situation. If I had it to do all over again, I'll be a black man. Seriously. And I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you once again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support. I really appreciate the fact that you guys are able to stick around from week to week and listen to me speak to you guys because the honor really is all mine, and it lets me know that I am always in the company of intelligent people. So thank you very much. Long live the habitual line steppers. In Kev we trust. I'm gonna win, and when that happens, we all win. Thank you for your time, and see you guys tomorrow night.